keynote. All right, so we went over the layout. Okay, went over the menu. I went over some of the tools, the chart settings, studies. All right, so for the rest of this, I even showed you the dome, which I can make a separate video about the dome later if you want me to do that. But I don't use the dome that often, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on that right now. So for the rest of this, we're gonna get into the next portion of this where I'm going to set up a chart book that's similar to my setup on TradingView. All right, which looks like this. So let me go ahead and hide all of the drawings in there. So what we're gonna need is we're going to need the volume. All right, I'm gonna start out with the 5 minute. So we're gonna need the volume. We're gonna need I'm just gonna put I got 200 and a 100 moving average, but I'm just gonna use the 50 simple moving average, and I'm gonna put a 9 exponential moving average, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get going with that. Let's go ahead and start with the 5 minute, and then I'll also I'll bring up a quote board. It's not gonna have all of them, of course, because I don't feel like adding everything. I don't want to. It'll take me time to add all of these things in there. So I just want to. This is just an example, whatever. All right, so let me go ahead and close these other ones down. Or matter of fact, let's just start from scratch. All right, so we're gonna click on New Chart Book under the File menu. All right, so let's go ahead and add our 5 minute chart to it. So we're gonna go to Find Symbol. Okay, this is just the way I like to do it. You can do it however you like to do it. And we're gonna go ahead and open historical chart. Right now, all right. So I don't need this anymore, and we're gonna close that. And now I can go ahead and save to change the name of the chart book. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna call this TradingView replica. All right, so we're just you can name it whatever you like to name it if you're when you're doing this is this is the way I'm just doing this for this example. Okay, all right, so save, and now we can see what it's named now. If we go up in here to file, we see we also have it here. And let's say we want that to open up when we turn on the platform. We go to general settings, and we go up in under files to open on startup. We go to add, and we'll click TradingView replica, and we'll go ahead and hit open, and that's good to go. We like the way that looks, and we hit OK, and now we're in there. All right, so now I don't like the way this looks, so what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm going to pick a 5 minute. I want to see the 5 minute candles, right? And next, I wanted to see the candlestick bars. So I'm going to click on candlestick bars, and then while I'm here, I only want to load 20 days worth of data. So that's just a random number that I came up with in my head. I have no reason to do that. I just wanted to do that. So I only want to load 20 days worth of data. All right, so Sierra Chart to be lightweight. It's not gonna really slow down my computer or anything. So let's go ahead and apply those settings. I like those settings. So it's gonna show me 24 hours worth of data. As you can see here, the start time is at midnight all the way until the second before midnight. All right, so that's 24 hours of data. If I wanted to split that time up for whatever reason, I could click on use, and then I could split the time up between these different sections, but that's another lesson for another day. So all right, so that's okay. Right now we're showing an intraday chart, which is cool too. See, it does it by default, so that's why I always pick historical. It just gives me one simple way to select it. All right, so another thing I want to do, I'm gonna go ahead and hit OK so I can adjust this. I want to have my space there to what I like to see. I like about that much space right there. So let me go ahead and go back, right click, go to chart settings, and go to advanced settings up here. This is the way I do it. I probably confused you. I don't know. This is the way I do it. I can go here, and I got lock field space there, And so now once I apply, that's locked in. So once I bring up my other chart, I'm gonna go ahead and set this up now. I want both of the charts to be linked. So I'm going to go over here to link number, and I'm gonna go to link number 1. All right, so these numbers have to match between the charts that you want to be linked together. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to link the scroll position and the symbol just to make everything, you know, easy for me. We're just gonna stick with that for right now. I can go into some of that later. Title bar name, you can change it. There's a lot of settings in here, so we're not gonna. We're just gonna stick with those settings. This is a basic setup that I'm going over right now, and that's good enough for right now. So, all right, we got that in there. So now we got a decent little chart, a little 5-minute chart. Okay, that's cool and everything, but I need my studies on here. So, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna right click, right, and I'm gonna go to studies. If I don't want to do it that way, I also have the over here in analysis. I can access studies here, and you can, the shortcut is F6. So the way I like to do things is I like to right click. I like to I like to operate from here. It's, you know, it's a real simple way to access whatever, you know, settings or features I want to access. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click on the chart, go to studies, and the first thing I want to add is the volume. All right, so we're gonna scroll down. Now, one thing that I do not like about Sierra chart is, you know, when it comes to this, is they have a ton of different indicators and studies in here, but they don't have a way that, you know, unless, you know, unless I'm overlooking it or something, but they don't have a way to search. So it would be nice for them to have a search feature in here somewhere. If I just, you know, let's say I want to find the VWAP, and, you know, it opens me up here into the numbers and the A's. I don't have to scroll all the way down. I can just type VWAP. But okay, that's just me being lazy. So anyway, we're gonna keep going. All right, so we're adding a volume. I'm gonna go ahead and add that. Click on volume. Go to add. While we're here, let's go ahead and add the other things. I want a 50 simple moving average. So we have to look for a moving average. So moving average simple. And I also want a moving average exponential. Let's see, anything else? It's pretty much all we need there. So to go ahead and change these settings, I don't think there's anything I need to change for volume. Actually, I really don't use volume on my regular charts. But since I'm replicating the TradingView, I'm going to go ahead and put it here. All right. Let's say I want this volume at the bottom just so it makes sense. All right, and so I'll get into that later. So the simple moving average, I want to go ahead and it's going to be a 50. So we're going to go into under settings and inputs tab. We're going to click on the length, and we're going to make it 50. All right, and we're going to go to subgraphs to change the look of it. And I want to get this color, use this color here. This kind of like bluish color. Or yeah, this is good. We can go ahead and change the width to 2. Give it a solid line. You know, that's more the settings in here that you can change. All right, so go ahead and hit OK with that. And this is for my exponential. So under settings and inputs, this is a 9 EMA. I'm gonna go with 9 there, and I'm gonna put line in the length, and then go to subgraphs. And for the color, I like to use yellow. Hit OK there, and also make this a 2. Let's see. All right, everything else is good. If I had some kind of alerts associated with this, I would put the alerts here, but I'm not gonna use any alerts. All right, so I'm gonna hit OK, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit apply. And so now you can see all of my all of the indicators added to the chart. So so one thing about this, so about the volume indicator, If we go back into the settings, you can see it's actually, so if we look at the moving average is in chart region 1. So if we go back to volume, the moving average for volume is in chart region 2. So if you want to add, if you have more things like the RSI, the MACD, or whatever, you want to have it, um, in its own little space on the chart, like, so if I had the charts up, the candlesticks up here, and then the volume, then under the volume I had the MACD, then under that I had the RSI, and so forth, you would change that. You would put them in their respective chart region in the settings for the study. In the study settings, there we go. So if I say I wanted to add a MACD, then I would put, and I wanted to be under the volume, then I would put that in chart region 3, right? So if I put this volume here in chart region 1 and I hit apply, and now you see everything is mixed up together. It's hard to see, so we're going to change that back to chart region 2 and hit apply. And let's say I don't want the volume indicator to be that big. I want to reduce the size of chart region 2. I can go over here to the right side. Once you scroll over and you hover over, and you'll see this little line pop up between the chart region 1 and chart region 2. You click on that and you drag it down to the size that you want that that chart region to be. All right. Okay, so all right, so this chart is pretty much done. So now we're going to make a daily chart, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to right click, and before I added the duplicate charts to my shortcut menu, so I'm going to go ahead and click duplicate chart, and I want to make this one a daily. So I'm going to go ahead and put up here we have a shortcut for the daily chart, or I can type in the keyboard 1D. Let me minimize it so you can see it. So you see we have 1D up here, and I hit enter, and now we have a daily. So here's another cool feature about Sierra chart. Let's go ahead and expand this. So we have the same things there. Let's say I want to add a 200 and a 100 moving average before we get to the next part. So these are going to be simple moving averages. Let's scroll down, click on simple. We're going to go ahead and add those two. I'm going to add one, right? Because I could have did this another way. And I'm going in here. Let me get rid of that. I'm going here in the settings. All right, so under linked, for this one's going to be the 100. And the color I'm going to use, all right, so for the 100 I'm going to use like a darker blue. And I'm going to make that a width of 3. Hit OK. And then what I'm going to do for the 200 is I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this study here. Hit duplicate there, and then double click it to go into the settings. And I'm going to make it red. And these, I'm just picking random colors. There's no really real reason behind me picking these colors. These colors that I usually use. And we're going to go ahead for the length and pick 200 for, so it's a 200 simple moving average. And we're going to hit apply. And so now we have all the moving averages in there. Let's go over here and check again. Let's make sure I'm not leaving anything out. And for just to make sure everything is dressed to the TradingView, I'm going to go ahead and hide the 50 moving average on the daily chart. So I'll go back into studies, and then I'll find the 50 simple moving average, which is this one here. Now, one thing to make it easier, because you see all of these are named this moving average simple, I can give it a short name, which is whatever name I want to give it. So I can name this one 50 SMA. And if I hit apply, and you see now that changes the description up here to, well, it doesn't change it, it allows me to see which moving average I'm looking at. So, but on the daily chart, I'm going to go ahead and hide it. So I'm going to go over here to the right and check the box to hide that study. And I'm also go over here and I'm gonna label these other moving averages 100 SMA. This is the 200 SMA. And this will be the 9 EMA. All right, go ahead and hit apply on that. All right. So as you can see, if we look over here to the left, you can't see, there's really no data over here because I'm on the H contract right now. But if I wanted to, just display all the information, since I'm using a daily chart and I want to see all of the candles during this time frame, I will go into the chart settings. And now the days are low. I only want to see a year, so we're gonna go with 365. And to see more data, I'm going to go to advanced, and under here at a continuous contract, we're gonna click the drop down, and the one I like to use is continuous futures contract, the volume based rollover. So if I click that, and I hit apply, and it's downloading. So now we can see the candlesticks, back further. So because we're looking at it, allows us to be able to see the older contract dates, on one chart. All right. So the next thing I want to do is let's see, I'm going to go ahead and add a quote board. So I'm going to go over here to the file menu, and I'm going to click on new quote board. And now TradingView, I have this on the right, but over here in Sierra chart, I'm going to do a little something different. I'm going to put it on the left. So to add a symbol, I could do a couple things. I could double click in here and I could just type the symbol in, or I could go over to in here under settings and go to set symbols. So if I wanted to type one in, I would just go up here and we're gonna paste. To add them in there, you can just go down into this blank area here, and then add it up in the list. For the next one, I have to click in the blank space, and then I will add it, this way. I have to remove the old data, so I don't need that anymore. Okay, there it is, S&P Futures, H contract. Click OK. Now we got another one there. And just to do one more, I'm gonna go ahead and add crude oil. I'm gonna go to CL. I can scroll and try to look for these, but it's just faster to do it this way. I have to go to previous. There we go. Crude oil futures, and we are on contract month G for 2019. So I'm gonna add that one in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and close this down. Now you can see the data is in here, and then we can make adjustments to our columns so we can see everything clearly. Another thing that I like to do with this quote board is I like to have it automatically roll over. When we roll over to the next contract month, I like the quote board to do it automatically. So I select this auto rollover future symbols, and it's already selected. Or you can do it manually by clicking on whichever one you want to roll over and click roll over future symbols now. All right, I think it'll do the whole quote board here. So now we got that in there. So another thing that we need to do is go ahead and link all of these together. So let's go back to the daily chart to link this chart to the other one. So we're going to link them all to number 1. So we go under advanced settings 2 and make sure that we have link number 1 there. And the way that you can see that on the chart is you'll have your, it'll show L and then whatever it's linked to. So you got L1 here on this, on both charts, and you can do the quote board the same way. Go to settings, set chart link, and we're going to pick L1 for that one as well. So now if I want to look at a different contract, I can just click on the contract within the quote board and it'll load the data onto the charts for whichever contract I just selected. So once everything is downloaded, so what I want to do now is to be able to trade from the chart. So let me make sure that I'm in, still in simulation mode. Okay, I got a check mark next to trade simulation mode, so I'm still in sim mode. But to be able to trade from the charts, I'm gonna go ahead and click chart mode on up under the trade settings. And so now, see, once I do that, now you have this. It's this area here is highlighted. It shows you your profit loss for the day up here, and with some, and it's blue, and you see it's blue because I'm in sim mode, and it shows it's in sim mode. Now, if I was to go over into my live or to my broker, into the broker mode, then once I would go up here and I would click that trade simulation mode on to turn it off, and it gives you a warning. I go ahead, yes, and now it turns to gray. So if I was to turn chart trade moding off, now we see there's no color there anymore. All right, so let's turn on simulation mode. Let's turn that back on. All right, go ahead, hit yes, and we're going to trade from the chart. So we're going to hit select chart trade mode on. Okay. And I'm going to select the crosshairs because that's just what I like to use to when I'm making a trade. And let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna manually adjust my charts. All right. So for me, I don't like to see the volume, and it's kind of in the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and on the 5-minute chart. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hide that. I'm gonna hide the volume study, so I don't see it. All right. And just for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to studies, and I'm gonna add a VWAP. All right. The one I use is the volume weighted average price. I'm gonna put it up under my non-EMA. All right. So I'm going into the VWAP settings. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a label, just to make it easier for me to notice to know what it is. I don't change any of the settings here. This is my personal preference, but when I go to I like for this one to be this color here under the subgraphs. Go ahead, hit OK. Now if I go ahead and hit apply, OK, put these two outer bands. I don't like to see those outer bands, so I go back over here, and the top band, I click on the top band and go to draw style, and I just put ignore, and then I do the same thing for the bottom band. Go to draw style, ignore, click OK, click apply. Now I have the VWAP. All right, so just for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and have my chart set up like this. I have my quote board over here, and I'm going to add the features to be able to trade from the charts. So I'm gonna put it on the daily, just so I can see, I have full view of my on my 5-minute chart. I don't have anything distracting me on my 5-minute chart. So the way I can do that is I go ahead and click on the daily chart. I go up here to trade and attach the trade window, and it shows up on the left side of the chart. Now I like to have mine on the right side. It's just personal preference. So I'm gonna click on I'm going to chart settings, and under, let's see, okay, under advanced settings, there's an option here to attach trade window to right side. I'm gonna select that, check that box, and click OK, and now it's on the right side. All right, and then in this chart window here, I can, everybody's familiar with this kind of window where you can buy the market, buy ask, buy bid, and the same thing for the sell side, and it shows you your current position. So right now I don't have any positions open for crude oil, so I'm flat right now. If I was in the trade, I could, I have some buttons here to flatten the position, and I can reverse the position, or if I have some open orders out there, I could cancel all of those orders. We can click over here to the next tab and targets, and this is where you can set your your bracket orders. You can set your targets and your stops and everything. So let's say I wanted to adjust this, and I want to have a 20. I want to have a 30 tick target. So I click on the target, go to limit offset, and right now it's looking I'm inputting it by ticks. So these radio buttons here, you can input it by price, by ticks, or by percentage. But I'm gonna do it by ticks, and I'm gonna go with 30 ticks for the target. I'm gonna keep the stop loss at 10 ticks. And if I open up this chart, there's some additional settings down here. You have your break even. I use these a lot as well. So let's say if we're up $100 or 10 ticks, I want to go ahead and move to break even. So my step one, I would go to offset and ticks triggered. The break even level, that's how much you want it to go. So you can break even to flat, which is where you entered in at. But I'm gonna go with 10 ticks here. 2 ticks here, so that and then my trigger is 10 ticks, so that will be $100 for crude oil. So once it goes up, once the price, once I enter into a trade and I'm profitable by 10 ticks, it automatically move my stop to my break even, which is plus 2 ticks from my entry point. All right, and we can go back. There's some other things in here which I don't really, utilize these other tabs. So we're just gonna go back to main, and once I have that set up, and say that's the strategy that I always want to go with, I can go over here to, I can click this M button, and I can save that configuration. I can name it, let's just say I'm gonna name it CL bracket 1. And it shows you up here where that'll be saved at. So it's under the C drive and Sierra chart folder in the data folder. I go ahead and click save. And alright. And we got this message log. What I do with this message log usually is I go ahead and just minimize it. Alright, so I got my my bracket order set and everything. I'm ready to take a trade now. Let me go ahead and minimize this daily chart again so I can see my 5-minute. And just to make sure I'm using the right strategy or the right bracket order, we'll click this drop down here, and I do not see it. What happened? I think because that thing was there. CL bracket. Oh, that's probably what that message was. 1. All right. And I had the asterisk there, so maybe that's why I didn't save the first time. You can also change the location of this folder, but I wouldn't do that. I'll just keep it, everything is default. I go and save. So now we saved, we didn't get the message, so we don't have any errors now. And now it's here up under this drop down. So now every trade I take from now on, it's going to be I'm going to be using this this strategy here with a target of 30 ticks with a stop loss of 10 ticks and a break even. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and place an order here. I want to go long. I would right click on the chart. Actually, I got to turn on chart trading for this chart as well. Alright. And I'm going to make sure, I'm going to go into the settings and make sure that the chart, the trading is linked to all charts. Let's see. So you click trade window, apply to all linked charts, and hit OK. So now I want to go ahead and place my order. We're going to go long here. I'm going to do a buy stop at that area there. It's going to give me a confirmation. I go ahead and click yes. And all right, now that I figured out the error of my ways. All right, so if you wanted to use the your bracket order and everything, on the chart window you have to select use attached orders. So now it's going to apply those stops and the break even and all that stuff to whatever trades I take. So now let's try it out. I'm going to put a stop order in up here. We're going to right click, go to buy stop, and now let's see. So it still is not doing it between. Oh, it was there. Sorry. Buy stop. You can see now that we have our target at 48.78 and our stop loss at 48.38. We're trying to get in at 48.48, so we're gonna go ahead and hit yes to confirm that order. And now we see we have our entry up here, and we have our stop loss here. Now we can adjust the stop loss if we want. Since I got in late, this is not a trade that I would take. Really, I'm just doing this to show you, because this is not really a good risk reward. But let's say if I want to move that stop loss to an area more reasonable, I can move it there and go ahead and confirm that move, or I can put it back to where it was, as at a 48.38, just to risk $100, or I can move it where I want to move it. And so that's 48.36, but yeah. And then now that order is there. So when that order fills, everything it'll play out depending on however I got it set here under the target tab. So if I wanted to cancel that order, let's say, oh, I come to my senses and be like, this is not a good area to get in, I will go ahead and I could click the X button here on the entry order, or I could go to the chart trade window and I can click cancel all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right there. And if I wanted to turn off those confirmations, I can go up under here in the chart trade window, click on the M button, which I think just stands for menu, and go to confirmations. And you can say, I don't want to, if I place the order, I don't want to receive a confirmation one. I just wanted to place the order. So I can uncheck that confirm new orders. I can go in here and uncheck the confirm cancel all. I can just keep going through and I can adjust the confirmations as I would like to whatever my personal preference is. So let's say now if I wanted to place another order, now that we got that confirmation removed, I'll go place the order again, and see now I didn't get a confirmation, just place the order. All right. Of course, all of that is personal preference. If you are a newer trader, I would definitely suggest having the confirmations, just because starting out, you're definitely prone to making a lot of mistakes. Even as seasoned traders, we even make a lot of mistakes. But you know, the more experience you get, the less mistakes you tend to make, even though there's times where you're going to make mistakes. So, but as you know, just starting out, you're definitely prone to making a lot of mistakes in the beginning. So, you know, those confirmations and things like that are there to, you know, they help protect you from making a mistake that could be very costly. So that's pretty much the basics of how I use Sierra chart. Now I can, in the future, I'm going to make more detailed videos, going a little deeper into depth on, you know, certain areas um, that I'm familiar with, and you know, that I covered here briefly. Um, and while we're here, even though like I don't really use the dome like I said before, um, but you can put the dome inside of the chart. So let's say I wanted to, I'm going to cancel this order here. It's just, I don't want to take it. It's even though it's a sim trade, but I can go over here to trade, and I can insert I can turn the chart dome, the trading chart dome on up under the trade menu. Go to trading chart dome on, and okay, I did that on the daily chart, but you see, matter of fact, let me do it on the right chart. Click on the chart that you want it to be added to, which is for me the 5-minute chart. Go to trade, trading chart dome on, and it shows up over here on the right. So I can make, I can place trades over here. You know, if I see it automatically put me in a trade there. If I hold on, if I left click, I think that's I don't remember. I think it's a market order or something, or I'm not even really sure. But if I left click, you know, it'll do what you just saw. If I right click, that'll place a buy stop order. So like I said, I don't use that feature that often, so I'm not 100% sure about how it works. So let's say I'm up $20 now, $30. I go ahead and hit flatten to take that profit. Go ahead, confirm it, and now it'll show me that I have a daily profit of 4 ticks. You can also see that at the top left of the chart as well, that I have a daily profit of 4 ticks. There's also a way that you can change it to where it shows, it'll show you your profit loss for, you know, your current position or for the day, into different formats, you know, whether it's ticks or percentage or the actual currency value. So you'll go, for that you would go into the chart settings, and let's see, under advanced settings, you go right here to profit loss format, so you can change it from points or currency value, ticks, points ignore quantity, ticks ignore quantities. There's several different options here. So if I just wanted to see it in currency and points, I can click on that, go ahead and click OK, and now I can see that, okay, I got $40. If there was enough space in here, you could see also the amount of points or tick that I'm for the daily profit. So anyway, that was a really quick overview of Sierra chart. There's actually, you know, there's, like I said before, there's way more things that you can do inside Sierra chart, such as one thing that I use a lot is the alert system, and I do kind of use a little bit of the automated trading as well, even on the live side for exiting trades, but that's, you know, that videos is going to take, you know, way too much time to include in this quick overview here. So just to show you where it is, in case, you know, before I put that video out, you want to see it for yourself. Let me turn that off. Okay. For some reason the dome was, I couldn't right click because of the dome was there. So that was interesting. But if I wanted to, let's say, have an alert or whatever, there's a couple of ways that studies that I use for alerts. One of them is the color background based on alert condition, and another one you can do is the the color bar based on alert condition as well. Those are the two that I use for alerts. So let's say I want to do the color background. I'll go up in here. I don't change really any of these settings other than maybe this for how many bars it'll calculate that for, or it'll show the alert for. And then you'll put your alert conditions here. I'm gonna go into this in further detail, but just as in another video, but just as a quick overview. Basically, what you do is you will write it out. It's kind of a little code. It's not really a code, but it's a certain way, a certain syntax it has to be written out in. So let's just say if I wanted to have an alert that where I get I would get alerted when the 9 EMA crosses the 50 EMA, or when the 9 EMA crosses the 50 SMA. You will use these ID codes here to basically build the alert out in this area here. So like I said, that's just a quick little overview. This video is already long enough already. I don't want to make it too long. So that was a quick overview of Sierra chart. Another thing, if I wanted to see trades that I took throughout the day, I could go up in here and then in the trade menu and show order fields, and it will display it right there on the chart. And also you have it up under the trade menu. You can go and get the details of it under trade activity log. And I'm gonna change the date to today. Today is January 4th, 2019. Expand this, go ahead and hit apply and go to trades. I have to make sure I'm looking at the sim all symbols, and now it shows me the details of that trade that I took earlier. And also I can see statistics, and you get the actual trade activity here. Alright, that pretty much concludes this review of Sierra charts. So just in the description below, or in the comment section below, let me know what else you would like to know about Sierra chart. And go ahead and type in a 5 if you want me, if you're interested in learning how to do the alerts and the automated trading on within Sierra charts. Go ahead and put a 5 in the comment section below, and then that wraps this one up. And I hope y'all got value from this. Just let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys later.